Well, hello everyone. How are you? I hope you are doing all right. I look like a crazy mess. And as you can see, the baby squirrel has grown and now he thinks he can do whatever he wants to do. So he is with us right now. I apologize for the delay. A couple of you already know that I had to put our dog down last week that we'd had for 13 years. And you are all pet people in here, and we have been studying emotional intelligence, and I know that you will empathize with how difficult it was for my family to lose her. And doing okay now, but I have back to school night tonight, so I'm home taking care of the animals and getting ready for that. And I wanted to go ahead and make the video since it's Tuesday and I'm behind. So you have several articles this week that I think that you will find really interesting. Excuse me for 1 second. Okay, I'm back. All right. So one article is on play, and it talks about how play is important, maybe even more important than the classroom. So I'll be interested to see what you think about that. The other article is on highly effective things that we can do that help students with classroom activities. Let me pull this up on Blackboard. Give me just a moment. Have a sip of your coffee or something. Okay. All right, and it's called 10 Ways to Boost Brain Power. I always forget the name of that one. It's quite long. 10 Ways to Boost Brain Power for Young Students. What I thought was really interesting about this one today is that this morning when I came to school, I was telling the kids how much I miss in high school. They don't do the Pledge of Allegiance and then sing a song afterwards. And in elementary school, I used to always love to do the Pledge of Allegiance and then sing, America the Beautiful or whatever, My Country 'Tis of Thee afterwards. And it felt so great to start the day, with a group of people singing a song together, community spirit. And I love that the first thing they say in 10 Ways to Boost Brain Power for young students is sing. Singing does so many things for the brain. Singing helps young students manage transitions from one space or activity to another, increases oxygen, and enhances memory. And of course, there's much more, but I love that that was number one. And I know we have some singers in this group as well, so I'm sure you're going to be happy to hear that. Another thing that I thought was really interesting in this that I want you to keep in mind when you're teaching is it says number 5, pay attention to attention span. A child's attention span is equivalent to 1 minute for each year of age multiplied by 3. That's very interesting. I shared that fact with my high school students today, and I made them multiply their age by 3, and they were so funny when they were coming up with their numbers. And I was like, okay, why don't you try that one again? But they liked knowing that. And somebody said, yeah, but, I can't really, pay attention for like over 40 minutes solid. And we went on to talk about how most people's brains do start to wander about every 20 minutes. So it's always nice when you're learning concepts in a classroom, to have different breaks in activities, some type of structure in your classroom so that it's not like 90 minutes of just one thing, if possible, or some type of movement. The other thing that I think you'll find interesting in this article is where it talks about focus and reflect. This is where educators tend to fail most frequently. At the end of information delivery, there needs to be just a moment for children to reflect, think about what they've learned, and think about how they're going to use that information. A good example to help remember this, something that works for me, is have you ever had somebody say something to you and maybe it upset you or irked you or something, and you decided not to say something right away, and then 24 hours later, after you've had time to think about it and reflect, you oftentimes don't say anything similar to what you were going to say in the heat of the moment or the emotion. And that kind of helps me remember with the kids that they need time to reflect on the information that I'm teaching A lot of us have been teaching the same subject for many years, and for us it's just, it's just rolls off the tongue and out of the mind, and we remember all these things, but these kids are getting it for the first time. So they need to be able to just have a few moments afterwards to process. And this is also a good time to do your collaborative conversations, and it can just be very informal. You can give them the information, then you can ask them to sit for a moment and think about it, and then pair share with a partner where they can kind of reflect together and focus on the information. And that's a really good structure for the classroom. And the last one is Einstein on Creative Thinking, Music and the Intuitive Art of Scientific Imagination. And I think that article is just very interesting, and I think you will think it's interesting too, about how scientists and creative thinkers are actually one in the same. Your Arts and Movement project is this week. You have the rubric. It should not be difficult for you to complete. You know that all assignments are due on Sunday. You have 1 dB on your discussion board this week, and we have no e-learning. And I will let you know right now that we will not be doing like a collaborative lesson on Wednesday of next week, because I want you to use that time to make sure that your brain-based unit is ready for class. Because remember, the last week, everything is turned in by Friday. So if you want to have a partner review it, if you want to Google Hangout in a group, if you want to do something like that, that's optional for you. But I really do want you to schedule that time now, the time that you would have used for a collaborative, online thing, to get that brain-based unit work done, to catch up with anything that you may need to catch up with, okay? And so just remember that the topic is Arts and Movement and Learning this week, and you know what your assignments are, and you know what to do. It's a pretty light week as far as this goes. I feel like I'm rambling right now, so I'm just going to go ahead and let you go. Have a great week.